Hey everyone, Sebastian Westerink with the Weather Service in San Diego, here with this week's weather briefing. Today, Memorial Day, we'll continue to see elevated surf at our beaches, which should come down by tonight. Otherwise, we'll continue to see overcast mornings for much of the coastal basin, with a lot of the coastal fog and low clouds burning off by the afternoon. Temperatures today are hovering near average, but will warm throughout this week, likely peaking around Friday. Weather this weekend is a little bit more uncertain as we are looking to hone in the details about placements of our ridges and troughs. Here's a look at some satellite imagery from earlier today. We were pretty socked in throughout much of the coastal basin, pretty overcast, and that has ever since burned all the way to the coasts. So we'll see sunny skies for most of the afternoon for most places. Let's talk a little bit about sea surface temperatures now. Up until early May, our sea surface temperatures have been pretty cold for the time of year, up until early May. And now we've seen a pretty abrupt warm up of those sea surface temperatures, Point Conception southward. Right now we're in the mid to upper 60s, which is a few degrees above average for this time of year. Here's a look at the sea surface temperature anomaly charts. As of today, the yellow color indicating 1 or 2 degrees Celsius above average, whereas on May 4th, the Southern California bight was 1 or 2 degrees below average. And what that entails, usually the colder the sea surface temperatures are, especially for a given time of year, the more likely we are to get low cloud formation off of our coast and get that low cloud formation to give us overcast skies throughout the days in May and June. Hence the names May Gray and June Gloom. And so usually with the warmer sea surface temperatures, we have a harder time to develop those low clouds. Our inversion is less strong as a result, and we tend to get less low clouds as a result. So that's just something to keep in mind for the coming weeks in June, where we can typically get pretty gloomy days, pretty overcast skies throughout the entire day. That with the above average sea surface temperatures, it becomes a little bit less likely that we get those days. Let's look at some of the temperatures for this week. Today, temperatures are pretty close to normal, around 80 degrees throughout much of the Inland Empire and in the mid 70s throughout the San Diego Valley, and a very comfortable near average temperature of 70 degrees at our coastline. Tuesday is a few degrees warmer. Now we're looking at mid 80s in the Inland Empire, those similar temperatures in the San Diego County valleys in the mid 70s and still around 70 degrees at our beaches. Similar temperatures as Tuesday for Wednesday, still looking at mid 80s for the Inland Empire and mid 70s for our San Diego County valleys and still around 70 degrees at our coast. Desert temperatures are approaching and exceeding 100 degrees, which for this time of year is pretty normal. Now, looking beyond that, we're going to look at our upper level pattern for this time of year. On the left, we have the GFS model, and on the right, we have the Euro model. And we're modeling 500 millibar heights. So starting with today, we sort of have this trough move through, but then a ridge slowly starts to build in our region Tuesday and Thursday, and then we get a much stronger ridge throughout much of the West Friday. And then here's where the uncertainty comes into play. Saturday, if you caught that, there is a trough in both the GFS model and the Euro model, which, if combined with moisture, gives us the potential for showers, especially for our mountain areas, which tend to be able to ring out showers with these cutoff lows this time of year. But if we don't get that cutoff low, temperatures could remain still very hot as a result of the ridge that develops here Friday. Here, we'll see it again right here. So there's the ridge that builds, and then there's that cutoff low trough that moves into Southern California. And depending on how much moisture we get out of it or how close that cutoff low makes its way into Southern California will dictate what weather we get for this weekend. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.